Bro, I'm usually like rushing to do all this stuff. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But like,
it's okay. Deep breaths. Patience is a virtue. I'm still working on my patience every single day.
You're in podcast mode, I can tell.
I am now, yeah.
You're like ready to go. You're like, all right.
Yep.
Let's help you.
Keeping my composure. Not letting anyone see the psychotic Sky.
Wait, but that's actually crazy. What type of shit are these hoes saying about my podcast, bro? Talking shit?
Oh, nothing. They're not talking shit about your podcast. They're talking shit about your character.
My character?
Yes.
Damn, that's crazy.
It's okay.
I accept it.
People talk shit on my character. People talk shit on everyone's character. You know, it's just talking shit.
I'm vulnerable enough to talk about my shortcomings and my mistakes. You know what I mean? I have to.
You have to humble yourself.
I take responsibility. I have to take responsibility. That's something I've learned.
Yeah, that's a part of loving yourself.
That's true. You can't hide from yourself.
No. You got to be honest with it. Something that I've learned in rehab, a little part about myself is my parents actually forced me to go to rehab.
Right.
They thought that I was under the influence of, I don't even know.
Yeah.
But they always used to bring it up to me, and lo and behold, it was just like kind of anger issues. And I was sneaking out a lot. I had like drug addict behavior. I was sneaking out a lot, lying, stealing, hanging out with people that I probably shouldn't have been, like you and Bobby and Frank.
Yeah.
Dude, we were sneaking out all the time, getting drunk. Yeah.
That's what I used to do. I enjoyed that.
Running from the cops.
That's all I really ever wanted to do on the weekends.
Hiding from...
If I'm being honest.
Hiding from cops in the bushes and shit. It was honestly pretty fun. It's adrenaline driven, for sure. I like it. It's like going to war.
Okay, so I like to start at the beginning with everything.
Yeah.
You can just...
Okay.
It's an ashtray right there. It's kind of fun.
Is it okay if I go over there?
Yeah.
All right.
If you need to. Go ahead, just do it quick. You're good. Okay, so I like to start from the beginning. Where were you born and when were you born?
So I was born in Glendora, 1994, November 16th, around 3 o'clock p.m.
You're about to have a birthday, aren't you?
I am. My 30th birthday.
Crazy. So why were you born in Glendora? Is that where your family's from? Or where's your family from?
No, I'm pretty sure. So my dad was in the military. He was a part of Operation Desert Storm, but a smaller contingent of that, it was Restore Hope. It's when, if anybody's ever seen Black Hawk Down, it's when the U.S. military goes into Somalia and try to basically restore hope to the civilization.
Your dad went to Somalia?
He did.
Crazy.
And when he was out there, we were all living at Camp Pendleton in San Diego.
Okay.
So, but my mom was visiting family up here, and I think that, if I'm not mistaken, she might have been trying to get a house up here in Glendora.
So her family is from over here?
Yes. And
San Gabriel Valley, IE area, or what?
Yeah, San Gabriel Valley.
How far back? Like, how far back do you know that they've been here? Like, great-grandma?
So, it's kind of hard to explain. So my family is very intricate. There's a lot of grandparents and stuff. My mom's mom is from Chihuahua, Mexico. Like that whole family. But they've been here for quite some time.
You said your mom's mom is from Mexico?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So her first language Spanish?
Yes. My mom's, no. But my mom's mom.
Right, your grandmother on your mom's side?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And my great-grandmother on that side actually just passed.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. You told me about that.
Yeah, so now the grandma my mom's mom is like the oldest of the generation.
Hmm. Oh, you're saying that was your great-grandmother that passed?
Yes.
Okay.
And she was like the first one here from Mexico. But other than that, my other great-grandma, my mom's dad came from Germany.
Hmm.
My mom's dad's mom, so my great-grandmother, other great-grandmother came from Germany during World War II. She came into Quebec. Let me see this real quick. And then came down into LA, I think, during like the 60s or something.
Okay, got it. I'm fumbling over here.
That's okay. I got a lot of family. It's like really intricate.
What about
Everyone's
your? Yeah.
from
What about
somewhere else.
what about your?
It's-
So you're saying you're on your mom's side you're half German, half Mexican, and then on your dad's side what?
He's also German and a little bit of English, Dutch, and a lot of Russian.
And where's your dad's family from? Like
Germany.
they came over to Germany how many generations ago?
I'm pretty sure like around the same time from World War II.
So his parents are from Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
This is almost done.
You're good.
I'm gonna cash it soon.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, and they're all dead.
Okay. So who raised you?
Myself. No, but my mom, she basically was the only one there who raised me until my stepdad Aaron kind of came into the picture. And when he came into the picture, it was just kind of like my mom did it for good reasons and stuff, but you really tell what people are what people are driven to do to survive with their kids and stuff, because they're like, she wasn't happy at all in that relationship. She like sacrificed her happiness for our safety, and like that has a lot of trauma in turn, but you have to learn how to forgive and understand that stuff. It's a big mature step, and I feel like that's something that I'm constantly dealing with, is learning how to forgive my parents for their past indiscretions and shit, because they were our age.
Facts.
When they first got together, and I don't have a kid, but I can only imagine how hard it was and what I would do to keep them in a safe space.
Definitely. Were you observant as a child?
Extremely. I think, like, growing up, a lot of my time was spent in the background, and I was pretty afraid to get into the picture, because I don't want to say like I was being judged or anything like that, but it kind of felt like a lot of people were breathing down my neck, especially at a young age, and expecting me to be someone that they wanted me to be.
Yeah.
So I was kind of always on edge toward being myself.
So where'd you grow up? Where were you living at first that you can remember?
Glendora.
And what's your earliest memory over there?
Are we talking about earliest memory like ever, or earliest memory over there?
Ever. Earliest memory ever.
Oh shit. So my first memory, I talk about this with my therapist all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not like saying this to like gloat or anything, but I feel like a lot of people might have these like flashes in their head
Mm-hmm.
of like being a little kid, and it's like so vivid and so repetitive, and that's a memory.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like a trauma response to ignore it and just be like, oh, like, I don't know, maybe that's something that I'm making up, but
Right.
a lot of the times it's your first memory. And my first memory was of my parents, my biological parents, being physical, like fighting,
Yeah.
and my grandpa picking me up and taking me out of the room.
Hmm.
And I'm now putting the pieces together. I'm like, wait, okay, so we actually had those floors back then. We actually had that carpet. I still remember it. They still have it. that wallpaper is the same. I can almost like smell the cigarettes in the background.
You can almost like put yourself back in the situation. That's
Oh
how
yeah, it's so
vivid it
vivid.
is.
Yeah, and so I want to say being in Palm Springs,
How old were you?
or no, it was like 29 Palms
How old were you?
or 1,000. What is that place called? 29 Palms?
There's 29 Palms.
Yeah,
That's
it's
in the high
29.
desert.
Yeah, that's where my grandparents lived.
It's
That's
like
where
above Palm.
We
Palm
used to
Springs.
visit there all the time.
Gotcha. That's where you have that memory from?
Mm-hmm.
Were you living there or you guys were visiting?
It's weird because
And how old were you?
I feel like we were living there, but I'm pretty sure we were just visiting because my mom, like through growing up, my mom always, when we're driving and shit like that, my mom was always like, oh, we used to live there, like we used to live there and stuff. And so, but like the only real place that I remember is living in Glendora, growing up
Okay,
mostly.
gotcha. But your mom has told you that you lived up there with them for a little bit or no? Or like where else did your mom say that you guys lived?
We also lived in Rancho Cucamonga when my parents first got divorced.
How old were you when you had that first memory?
My sister wasn't, but she was like just born, so I want to say 3.
You were
Like
3 years
2.5.
old.
2.5.
Is that you were 3 when your sister was born?
Me and my sister are a year and a half apart, so I'm probably like 2.5 at that age.
Oh, okay.
Because
I
she
get what
was
you're
just
saying.
like barely baby.
Yeah, maybe probably 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And I think around 3 years old is when you start getting like your first memories.
Mm. I have a memory of I know it's your interview, but I'll tell you real quick.
Go ahead, man.
I have a memory
Let's do it.
of I was going to like grab a ball in the street, and I'm pretty sure I maybe only took like 1 or 2 steps off the curb, but I was going to grab a ball in the street and I was about to get hit by a car, and my dad went and grabbed me, swooped me up, and I was just being like, "You're my hero."
I was about to say, dude, so like I feel like when you're growing up, you
I think that
had
was my
this-
earliest memory. No lie, I was
like
probably
he was
2 or
your
3.
hero a lot growing up, and that's probably why
I wanted
you
him to
feel
be.
the way you do.
I wanted him to be. That's why when he disappointed me, it hurt so bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I thought he was.
Yeah.
But he's human, just like me.
Yeah.
He was younger than me. He was actually, when that happened, he was probably my same age,
Oh, okay.
which is weird to think about.
Dude, I feel like I'm 15 right now.
Sorry. Okay, so sorry. I didn't mean to make that about me, but I don't think I've ever told you that story, so I felt like sharing.
It's okay.
So what do you remember after that? Like, what was school like for you? Like, you said you just told me that you got held back in first grade. So like what? Kindergarten. I'm sorry. Kindergarten. Do you remember kindergarten? You remember preschool? Like, what do you remember from that time?
Yeah, I remember going to kindergarten. My mom subjected me and my little sister to a little Christian school, and we used to have to take naps and shit. Snack time, all that
I think
stuff.
most kindergartners and preschoolers have to take naps. I don't think
Yeah.
it matters if it's a
I
Christian
know,
school.
but it was just it was creepy.
Really? It was like a small, like, was it in somebody's house or
You know
something?
those like cots that are lifted up like maybe a foot off
Yeah, that's
the
what
ground?
everybody has to nap on.
Oh god, man! Like, just thinking about it is like I can smell it right now.
That's
like,
crazy.
It's like I smell the dried macaroni.
Stop. I don't remember that. I have some type of memory from nap time though, Michelle. And who? Okay, here's a question. Who was your first crush?
Wait, hold on though. Let's get back to why I was held back in kindergarten. I was throwing rocks. You know?
Oh yeah. Sorry, my bad. I was getting ahead of myself.
I was throwing rocks.
Right. Why were you throwing rocks at
I don't
5
know.
years old?
I think I was throwing rocks at cars passing by.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
some people.
And I had this friend named
I'm
Sandro.
sure you're not the only one who's done that before.
Yeah, me and my friend named Sandro used to like throw rocks at each other and shit.
Ow! Did you guys get injured or no?
I got a black eye a couple times.
From throwing rocks at each other. You and your
Mhm.
buddy Sanjo.
Yeah.
Do you still talk to Sanjo?
I don't even know if he's alive. I haven't spoke to him since.
since you guys threw rocks at each other.
Dude, my stepdad like picked me up from getting in trouble for throwing rocks. My stepdad,
Yeah, in kindergarten.
and I remember him beating the shit out of me, like slapped me upside the head, and he was yelling at me. I was like, "Fuck!" Like, this is what it's like having a dad. Because, like, I've never had that before. That was, like, my first time.
Nobody ever corrected you.
And I think that's when I started to build, like, a real resentment. I was like, shit.
Facts.
You're not my dad. Like, you don't get to do that. And I knew that at the time. But then it just,
How long had he been with your mom at that time?
A few months. I was like, who the fuck are you?
Oh, bro. Sorry, that hit me when you said that, because I'd be pissed. I would be pissed to this day. I would have whooped his ass a few times. Sorry, I don't. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that.
You gotta learn to forgive. You know, we're all immature at that age. Facts. We have to fall in order to learn how to get back up. And I think that he still takes it upon himself that, like, he fucked up.
That's real.
Because he's a great dude now, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's restarting the entire journey.
I'm sure he had good intentions. You know what I mean?
He definitely does, yeah.
I'm sure he did back then, too.
Oh, yeah.
So
that might be my trauma speaking, but yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to say any definitive statements towards your experience, but...
No.
Okay, so... What happened from there? Like, how did that affect did you change your behavior after that situation?
Yeah, I remember, like, always trying to find loopholes to be rebellious. And in turn, that just, like, made me so much more rebellious.
I could relate to that. Would you say you were sneaky? My mom used to call me sneaky all the time.
Hell yeah, dude. I used to blame my friends for, like, the sneakiest shit. Oh my god, dude.
Like what?
So... what's that game? It's like the doctor game. It's Operation.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my friend drew, like, private parts all over it.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, just riddled the thing with cuss words.
Nice.
Yeah, and we just, like, made it vulgar. I don't even think I'm that vulgar now.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I don't even know how I had the imagination back then, but I just blamed it all on my friend.
Do you remember your first crush?
I
hope it's not her.
No, she might actually remember her. Me and this girl were... Oh, no, it was Desiree. Remember Desiree? It was Desiree.
She's beautiful, isn't she?
She is beautiful. She lives in Colorado now. She has a kid.
Why did you like her?
She was, like, the only blonde.
Yeah, she had sandy blonde hair. Did you ever talk to her back then? You told her you liked her?
I called her a bitch.
That's how you told her you liked her?
Yeah.
Me too.
I love you, bitch.
Okay, for sure. What about like your first love? You ever been in love?
Yeah, that was Tristan.
You don't have to say names, but...
You're fucking right.
But I know. I introduced you to her.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your...
We went to church together.
Yeah, I might just cut her name out. I don't ever cut these interviews, but I might just cut her name out.
Okay.
But what was that like? What was that first love like for you?
I don't know. It was just a learning process, I think.
What do you mean by that?
You learn a lot. I think I lost my virginity.
For sure.
Which is why. And
do you think that
back then I really, like, I had high standards. I still kind of do, you know. Like, you knew me back then too. I, like, didn't want to drink or anything like that, but now look at me now. But even then I was just like, I'm not going to have sex with anyone until, like, I actually, like, have these extraordinary feelings for them. And I did.
Love.
I thought. Yeah.
You thought you were in love. And then is that, like, was that the motivation? Like, hey, I know I love you and I want to move forward with this?
Yeah. It, like, made it, like, a lot more exhilarating.
For sure. What did you learn from that relationship?
To not put all your eggs in one basket.
What does that mean?
Sometimes, dude, I'm still kind of learning what it means. I have a friend. She lives cross state. She's a therapist. She's a therapist, and she tells me all the time that I put my eggs in one basket. And I think what it means is I put not only all my energy. I think it's okay to put, like, like all your energy into like the person that you care about,
Mm-hmm.
but expecting the most out of it, like the best outcome, you know, and expecting like, oh, this person, like I'm gonna have kids with this person, like I right away, you know,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
like I want to settle down with this person. This
Mhm.
is the person that's gonna make me happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm setting up all these expectations for this person that they don't even know I'm having for them. I'm basically
Facts.
putting them on a pedestal.
Mm.
And
That's another way of putting it,
it's
for sure.
built on eggs, basically.
It's built on nothing.
Yeah.
Mm. Why do you think that you do that?
Because that's a good question. I think that I do that because I've always been searching for safety,
Mm.
you know?
Reassurance?
Yeah, and everywhere I look around me, everyone has that, it seems.
Mm.
And I'm not sure if that's the way people portray it, but everyone just seems like they're in like the perfect relationship, you know, like they're
Mm.
happy and they've found like the love of their life or something like that.
Mm.
And I've just like I've had my heart broken so many times, and it takes two to tango, you know. I feel like it's partly because I have put all my eggs in one basket, but it's definitely also because I was made vulnerable to this person and they took advantage of that.
That can happen.
So I'm like really learning how to be protective of myself lately,
Mm.
and I'm just now learning what boundaries are,
Mm.
like how to set up boundaries for myself.
For sure, it's important.
I've always known what like other boundaries for other people were, but I've never had boundaries for myself.
I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah.
I think you said something really important that I think goes beyond even like the beginning of a relationship. Like even in my 10+ year relationship, you can't have any expectations. Like you can't decide what another person is going to do or think or say. Like your partner, 100%, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but people can change, people can grow apart, like lots of things can happen and you just don't know. And that's part of like the risk of being in love and choosing to be in love, like
Yeah.
you just choosing to trust that person.
Mhm.
And then the other thing that I think that you mentioned that was really good was fucking blanking was I lost it. I would just keep going.
It's okay. I'll just add on to that though. It's
Yeah.
like, as I've gotten older, I'm 30 years old now, about to be in a couple days, and let's just round it up. And love is this crazy, intricate, scary journey / game, you know, and you need to learn how to love yourself. That takes time.
That's what it was, is putting yourself first. Like you have to take care of yourself first, otherwise you can't.
Yeah.
You can't be there for another person. And if you're putting all your eggs in one basket in the sense that all your energy is focused towards them, that doesn't mean like
You're just gonna get
you can
hurt.
still be considerate, you know what I mean? You can still
Mhm.
think of the other person, but you can't only live to be with that person. You have to live to be you.
How much are you trying to prove to yourself when you're doing that, you know? It's like, I have
It's you
this
just wanna
big
feel
of a
loved.
heart. I can take this
No,
much
it's just you
pain.
want to feel loved, and you got
Yeah.
a feeling of that for a moment, and you want to hold on to it. So you want to only it's like an addictive thing. I feel
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Love is a drug, right? They say that. So
Mhm.
like just engulfing yourself in the other person, that's all that matters.
Mhm.
Like you have to like, it's like if you have kids and all you care about is your kids, you're so focused on your kids. I hope they don't get hurt. No, don't do that. You know what I mean? You're like, you're
Yeah.
fucking up your kid, your relationship in the same way with a
Mhm.
partner. If you obsess, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to let them live their life. You got to live your life, and you got to do it together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And communicate and be able to do that.
You gotta let time do its thing, you know? It's like, that's what I was kind of saying is, it's like a journey, you know? And now that I'm, like, when you're 30 years old, it's like you start noticing all these things. You start noticing how to treat, like, someone. You start noticing how to take care of an elder one that's, like, passing away, or a dog or something. You start to know what real love and compassion is. And it takes a while because when you're a kid, you know like the bare minimum. And you can't love someone with the bare minimum, you know? Like you can't expect,
you just know what it feels like as a kid.
You just know what it feels like, you know?
Or what it should feel like.
But you don't know how to deliver it. You don't know how,
to get it.
Make it, you know?
Yeah, you don't know how to make it happen, yeah.
Yeah, you need to create it. Yeah, it's like a flower, you know? You need to tend to it. And like once it's blossoming, that's when you can give it out.
Right, you got to nurture yourself and put that time into yourself.
True.
Nope. I'm sure 99% of people are never taught that as a kid. Nobody taught that.
No.
I think that's one of the first things I told my youngest brother, though. I told him one time, hey, because he was probably crying because like my mom like told him, hey, don't do that or something like that. And I was like, hey, look, like the only opinion that really matters about you is you. If you know that you're doing the right thing in your heart, that's all you need. You know what I mean? You only know you. Nobody's ever gonna spend as much time with you as you are. So only you know you. Sorry,
I got that too as a kid, but like, so my parents were like, no, like don't do that, and like don't say this word. But they never told me that like this word like means that or like. If you do this, that will happen, you know?
Exactly. It's so necessary.
I really went out of my way to figure out why I wasn't able to do or say these things and just dug myself.
And it's confusing.
Yeah, and I became ignorant too. Like, as a kid, like, I became ignorant to what so many things meant. And, like, I just, like, it sucks because, like, I felt like I was teaching myself all these things and my friends were teaching me these things at the same time making fun of me. And it's like,
what do you mean by that? Like how your friends were teaching you things and making fun of you at the same time?
Let's see. So like I guess like an example would be like the word pussy. I used to like go around and calling my sister pussy all the time. Why? Especially in front of my friends because I thought it meant wussy.
Okay, it kind of does.
Yeah, and my parents told me not to say it.
Oh, so you kept saying it because they told you not to.
Yeah, and I was like, why? Pussy, pussy, pussy. And so like I would go around and my friends would like make fun of me for always saying it, and they would also like.
How old were you at this time?
I think I was like 10 or 11.
Like 5th grade?
Yeah. And but yeah.
How do you feel looking back on that?
And like I would get in trouble for like saying it and shit, and then like it took me so like my friends were like, it means this. I'm like,
oh yeah. Fuck. How long did it take you to learn what a pussy was?
I was saying it in front of my grandma, man. Like, yeah.
How old were you when you learned what that word meant?
Too late.
So
no, I'm probably like 11.
So let's go back to like, okay, you're 11, 12, 13, becoming a young man. Like, what was that like for you? What type of guidance did you have? It's around the time we met.
I'm good on that. I don't know. So like what I was doing was riding my bike, spending a lot of time outside playing video games, especially hanging out with my friend Michael. Me and him used to have this pretty like brotherly like bond, and some weird paranormal shit used to happen to us all the time. So like me and him were like really into ghost hunting and all that kind of stuff. And then when me and you started hanging out, I think we started drinking a lot more.
I was a bad influence on you, I'll admit it.
That's okay.
It was not intentional.
I know. I mean, we all did it together.
Yeah.
You know? I was just there for the party, just there for a ride. But after that, like, I really started just kind of partying, you know?
Yeah.
And not focusing so much on school or anything like that. And that's, I think, when my parents were, like, really coming down on me, like, what are you fucking doing and shit. And I was also coming down on them. I was like, I don't know. I'm adolescent, you know, and, like, why do I feel like this? And, like, I'm just, like, always out getting in trouble.
Okay, but even before that, like, was school hard for you? Would you get good grades before that?
No. So I was put in special classes but like I never really knew why, and I think it's now because I just have like ADHD.
It's more behavioral than learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't understand that at the time.
No, I didn't, and like I kind of hated it.
Yeah.
But it helped me get through school.
You finished?
Yeah, I finished. I actually finished before everyone else.
You lucky bastard.
I know.
Okay. What were your high school years like? You know, I mean, you talked about, I guess, this bad guy got you into partying.
Yeah, but I think once I started to smoke weed, I started to do my own thing, because I would, my whole family smokes weed.
Sure.
And so I thought it was okay to smoke weed.
I'm sure you still do.
Yeah, of course. And so I would like steal my dad's shit all the time. My stepdad would have so much weed.
He had some gas back in the day.
He fucking did. And he knew I would be taking it, but I think it would be like low key pissing him off. Anyway.
It would make him mad. He would like.
No, but like he had this. He had
a jar,
like,
and it would probably get more and more noticeable. Like every time he goes back to the jar, it's like more is gone.
He has like a jar specifically for me to see, like to test if I'm stealing it.
Yeah, he has another jar hidden that he marks.
Yeah. No, but I used to just like smoke weed a lot, and he had this like motto that he would tell me. Is like, there's always a time and place for everything.
Real one. Yeah,
so I thought that meant that like, as long as I'm like doing something bad, it's okay if like I'm in a safe space. Like if
Gotcha.
It's like smoking weed, you know,
Gotcha.
like that's what he kind of considered back then.
That's what you thought he said? Meant what he said?
Dude, that is what he meant.
Well, let me tell you what I understood, what you just said, that there's a time and place, is that it shouldn't be done all the time. It should be done after work. You know what I'm saying? Like after things get done. That's what
that too.
Yeah, okay.
But so once that was cool and all, but I was like afraid of like getting in confrontations with him, but he would turn the blind eye. But once my now stepmom moved in, like things started to take a turn, because he was like really jumping down my throat on it, because she had smaller kids, you know, and like
how old?
I was low-key subjecting them to like the smell of weed, I guess.
Whatever.
Coming home.
I feel you.
Whatever, yeah.
At what age did your parents divorce?
My mom and my stepdad divorced after like probably like 14 years old.
Okay, and then you started splitting the time between them, basically?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what was that like? Was it like a set?
It was so chaotic.
Week by week, or?
It was, yeah, it was like 4 days over there and like 4 days over here, you know? That or like a week. I can't really remember, honestly.
Okay. Do you remember who was the first person to introduce you to music?
My mom.
Hold on, I'm going to reset this camera real quick. Okay, keep going. Your mom, what did she show you?
The Doors, Depeche Mode, Cure, Misfits, the Ramones, Pet Shop Boys, Rob Zombie, Alice in Chains, all kinds of stuff. She bought me my first album of music, which was...
So, like, what genre was she into?
Rejects.
What would you call that genre?
What genre of music?
Yeah.
Of that?
Yeah.
I would call it indie pop.
At the time?
Yeah, maybe, yeah, or indie rock.
Yeah.
Indie rock.
No, so none of those people...
Hey, baby.
A lot of those people you mentioned then were, like, kind of on the come up when she was listening to them. Is that what you're saying?
Probably. Mm-hmm. If you think about it now, so my first album as a kid was All American Rejects. They were new.
That shit was hard. I can't lie.
That's 20 years ago.
Crazy.
Yeah, so at the time I was listening to Depeche Mode and stuff like that. I was only 20 years old.
That's what my mom was into as well.
Really weird.
My mom really liked Depeche Mode and The Cure.
Oh man, they're so good. They're so good.
Yeah.
New Order is pretty good.
Pretty dope.
Too.
I mean, I feel like their sounds were pretty revolutionary at the time.
Yeah.
For sure. When? How old were you when you started smoking weed? Probably 14, huh? 15.
Yeah, I think I was like 14 or 15.
You're probably 15.
Yeah, I think 15.
I was probably 15. You were probably 15 and a half, some shit like that.
Yeah, because I think you introduced it to me.
Okay, all right.
Such a bad influence.
Oh, man, fuck that kid. Okay, do you prefer sativa or indica?
Sativa.
That's her question. She said I should start asking people that.
I actually do.
That's a good question.
I prefer a hybrid sativa dominant, if I can find it. But just because like I'm on meds and like I am so slept all the fucking time, so just like being on another indica basically is like it's too much. I'm like sleeping all the time.
What medications are you on?
Right now I'm just on Zoloft, but I used to be on Depakote, lithium, and Zoloft.
What has the experience been like for you going through all those cycles?
I feel like basically like a test dummy, you know? Especially in today's day and age, you really gotta be like, don't just like ask for something and then like take whatever they give. Like try to do some research with your psychiatrist before you go along with this prescription, because like everything that I've been prescribed, I've been like really lenient toward. I'm like, fuck it, man, just give it to me, because like I just want to feel anything than what I'm feeling right now. And they've really done nothing but make me feel worse. So
what are you diagnosed with?
I am diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and intermittent explosive disorder.
When were you diagnosed with that? How old were you? And depression or everything?
I went to the Amen Clinic at the age of 14 and got some brain scans, and that's when they like came with the conclusion that I have borderline personality disorder.
Gotcha. They
saw some things in my frontal lobe and the fact that like I had no dopamine or
and
something
they told
like that.
So you
were too high of dopamine.
You were aware of this and you continued to self-medicate.
Yeah, but I didn't, like, I was a teenager and I was just, like, I didn't know the severity of
right.
Borderline.
It didn't make sense.
I did not. Yeah, and no one like made sure I was okay.
No one checked in.
Yeah.
No one.
Like it was just like, all right, you got brain scans, like you can go and hang out with your friends again. You know, it's I don't know. And like when I was going to hang out with my friends, I would always be escaping the arguing at the house. Like
Facts.
That's something that I really hated about the divorce. My parents. My mom's first divorce that I remember. I don't remember her divorce with my real dad. I was like way too young for that.
Yeah.
But this second divorce, like I'm still going through it. I'm like put in the middle all the time between them. Like it's really annoying. I'm like the mediator between them and the messenger, and I'm also like the journal like between them. It's so fucking sickening.
You think that's inappropriate?
It is really inappropriate, and it's anxiety inducing. It's trauma inducing. It makes it really hard to have a real authentic relationship with the people that I want to call my parents.
And how do you deal with that? Has it gotten easier over time or no?
No.
So how do you navigate those relationships?
You gotta talk to a mediator, that being like a therapist, someone who's like.
You think therapy is important?
I think it's very important.
Like from like for everybody, from what age? Who needs to go to therapy? When do they need to go to therapy?
I think that it would be appropriate to start going at like age 11 to 12, like to start till the day you die.
What has therapy done for you? It's
allowed. I can't journal. I can't sit down and journal, you know? Like, I got a mind that, like, races and shit and looks everywhere. I like to, like, look at something and, like, be stimulated by it. Anytime I write, I start to, like, get really fucking fidgety and shit, and, like, my anxiety starts to go through the roof. So talking to someone is like my journal, and it's like a journal that's able to speak back to you and give you amazing feedback that's clinically proven and like has been through college. You know,
Is it easy for you to find a good therapist?
No. But it's a process, as in like finding a friend, you know? Like, you got to be really comfortable with talking to these people, because if you're not going to be comfortable talking to these people, you're not going to like get down to the root of what's bothering you.
That's true.
And it's okay to find new therapists. Like, if you don't like that new therapist, they can recommend a new one, and you can have a new one by like the next 2 weeks. It's fine.
How many therapists did it take you to find one that you like?
I think like 8, maybe 9. I'm on my 10th one right now. That sucks. I was just with my therapist for like 2.5 years, which is a huge achievement for me, because every time I have a therapist, I like stop seeing them, and I don't know, I feel like I'm okay, but then like I go on a year and I'm just like, shit, like I'm like really harming myself. I'm doing all these things that are just like self-destructive, and I'm essentially like digging my own grave right now. I feel like it's a hole, but it's kind of like a grave. And I do want to essentially be the start of a new generation in my family.
Right.
And I want to like stop the cycle of generational trauma, and that's something that I have been dealing with my entire life, is like ceasing the cycle. Like I can't, I'm dealing with everyone else's trauma. That way, if I have a kid, they don't have to deal with this shit, because I don't want my kid to have to deal with this shit. And I want a kid. I want to be a father, like really bad.
Love that. Me too.
And so being with my therapist for 2 years, that's something like, that's like a really big goal for me. And she unfortunately had to leave because like I guess she's moving to a private practice. But she got me a new therapist, which is like one of her friends. Yeah. And I already had a session with her, and she's great.
That's
good.
So
like I feel like I'm in good hands.
For sure. What type of things do you think is important to talk to your therapist about?
You got to be comfortable talking to them about everything.
Yeah.
You know, but it's on your own schedule, absolutely. You got to live every day as if it's your last. But also, like, don't be so quick to get, like, everything done, you know? Just, like, try to enjoy yourself.
When you started therapy, were you doing therapy before medication, or, like, was that timeline, like...
Like what?
Like, were you doing therapy? Like, did you start doing medication right when you started going to therapy, or did you go?
No, it's like, it's a different process. It actually took me a very long time to get back onto medication. It took me like 2 years of being on a waiting list.
What medication were you on before, and then they took you off, or what?
Yeah, I was on Depakote.
When you were a kid?
Lamictal. Oh, as I was a kid, I was like on a whole bunch of things. I think mostly was Lamictal and Zoloft back then.
At what age?
As a teenager.
Like 15, 16?
Like probably like 13.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea. I don't think I even knew what that was at the time. I think I took my first antidepressant. I think it was Paxil. Was that an antidepressant?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's a
something like that. I took took one or two when I was like 18 or 19. Probably 19, and I remember it made me gain weight.
I want something that helps me gain weight.
You've been hitting the gym at all?
No.
I went today. Today I went to the gym, but I haven't been consistent.
I just like go on walks with my dog like every day.
No, that's good. That's good to. It's definitely healthy to do that for sure. I should walk more.
I mean, I have weights and shit like that. I got basically everything the gym has at my house.
Yeah.
So I don't really need to go.
I mean, that's what I mean. I just mean workout in general.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't have to be at the gym.
Yeah.
The gym is at your house, too.
I have a pull-up bar, but I don't have anywhere to put it.
Bro, pull-up bars will get you right.
I fucking love them. They're everything.
Pull-up bars will get you right.
You can even put them on the ground and do push-ups, or like you help them with sit-ups.
Mm-hmm.
They're great.
Dips. You could do dips usually on most of them.
True.
Dips are good.
True.
They do more dips. Is there anything else on your heart that you want to speak on? You feel good? Like, you feel... How do you feel looking back on everything that you've been through? Is there anything that you would change about your behavior?
Yeah.
Like what?
Probably my attitude throughout high school and just growing up outwards.
Can you elaborate?
Yeah. Actually, no.
Your attitude, how could your attitude have been different? What was your attitude and what should it have been like?
I was a cocky motherfucker.
Why?
Especially when it came to girls. Like, I was really cocky.
Yeah, I mean, you got some hoes back in the day.
Yeah, but I also hurt a lot of people. You know?
You regret that?
Yeah.
For sure. For sure, I feel that.
I'm like still burning... I'm still burning bridges, but now I know how to do it properly. Like, I'm burning bridges that I know are toxic now.
You're doing it on purpose. How?
If I choose to, yeah. But like, it's just like a boundary thing, you know. I'm not like essentially like cutting anybody out of my life that's like in a bad way.
Have you forgiven yourself for hurting those people, or like, do you feel like you need their forgiveness to feel better?
I do feel like I need their forgiveness to feel better, because I go out of my way to make sure these people are okay, to find out or to make sure they're doing all right, and to let them know that I am sorry.
You say that, or?
Yeah, and they just don't want anything to do with me.
Yeah.
I don't fucking blame them, but it still kind of hurts.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you can't put the good deed back towards that person, maybe you can put the good deed back towards other people, and that can maybe create a ripple effect of good deeds and good things done. So that's some good that could come out of those experiences.
Life is a learning process.
It's a cycle.
Yeah.
What,
you gotta dig it, dude. Life's a garden.
All right, you gotta. That's a good one. You have a favorite movie? On that note.
What the fuck? That's such a hard question.
Okay, you can give me 3 movies per genre.
Dude, wait. All right. So, give me a genre. Just give me a genre.
Comedy.
Probably Step Brothers. Do I want to say that?
Step Brothers is a really good movie. It's
I saw it with my grandparents in theater.
You like Anchorman?
Anchorman's good.
I like Anchorman.
Anchorman's
That was one of the first ones. And Knocked Up was probably one of the first like raunchy comedies I've ever seen. That's why I like it. That one, what's another one?
40-Year-Old Virgin.
Good. That's a good one. Bro, The Ringer. When the fuck do we get ice cream? You know that line was improv? It wasn't in the script.
That movie is so funny.
I love that movie. I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I need to see it.
That movie's underrated.
The movie is so good.
The movie's so underrated.
You scratched my CD. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm
you know what movies I really like?
That movie cannot be made today, bro. It would be. They would get canceled.
What about Vacation?
I don't know if I've seen that.
Vacation, like
Chevy
Christmas
Chase?
Vacation with Chevy Chase, yeah.
When I was a kid, I barely remember
fucking
that.
funny, dude.
I never really. I was
They're
a
above
kid.
their time.
Yeah, it was probably like the script and stuff just went over my head a bit.
They're so funny, dude.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I need to give the Chevy Chase movies a chance again.
You do. He's so funny. Oh, and another one that he's in is that's really funny is it The Three Amigos? I think so. The Three Amigos.
What about drama?
Drama
for your mama.
Drama. I do like drama movies too. Probably Gran Torino.
That's a really good one.
That is a drama.
It's a really good movie. I'd say that's a drama.
Yeah.
Have you seen Flight?
No.
Denzel Washington.
Actually.
Good
Wait,
movie.
no, yeah, with Denzel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shout out Denzel. You're like coming out with a Gladiator 2.
Dude, fucking A, dude. I
We
can't
should go see
wait.
it. You want to go see it in the
I would
theaters?
love to go see that, yeah.
You want to go see it, Tina?
Let's go see it.
What is it?
Gladiator 2.
Gladiator 2, yo.
Denzel. Old Denzel, seasoned Denzel.
I heard that the Gladiator.
You've seen the first one, Russell Crowe, no?
Yeah, well, the first one.
I love that movie, Tina. I've definitely shown it to you.
All right, let's just my third genre. I'm gonna name it myself. It's horror. I love horror.
I was gonna say action, but you could go skip to horror.
Saving Private Ryan.
Good one. That's Tom Hanks?
Yes. Horror though is the new Hellraiser. If anyone's ever seen that or hasn't seen it yet,
I haven't seen Hellraiser.
It's artistic.
What movie was it again?
It is so good. The new Hellraiser.
The new Hellraiser. So it's the old one already?
It's like the old one revamped, basically.
It's like a remake.
Yeah.
That's dope. I haven't seen the first one. Is that an old movie?
Yeah. It's like in the 80s.
Wait, that's action or horror?
Horror.
Oh, I don't like.
It's like.
I mean, I like gore. Maybe, you know.
I mean, like, gore's okay, but.
I like gore, but there's got to be, like, some nudity in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but, like, some gore movies have, like, way too much, like, rape in them and shit.
Oh, I don't
fuck with that.
That's gross. I haven't seen it.
Have you ever seen Hills Have Eyes?
No, I haven't.
Nothing
never watched
but
that.
rape. I hate it.
That's gross.
Yeah. What's another movie? Saw. That's fucking just gory. I can't handle
I've heard
Saw.
that's good, but
I can't handle
I don't
Saw.
think I've seen it. It was just I look at the guy with the face and I was just like, nah, it's not for me, you know.
I used to have the tricycle in like the mask, and I used to like roll around for Halloween as him during Halloween.
You're an artist, no?
What did I even just say?
Would you call yourself an artist?
I think everyone's an artist, just in their own way.
How? How's everyone an artist in their own way?
You're an artist behind the lens of a camera.
Why are you saying that like I'm not supposed to know that already?
Wait, what?
I mean, you told me that before, but
yeah.
But come on, of course it's art.
Everything's an art, you know, and
I don't know if
whatever you put passion into, like, you can make it an art.
I feel you.
Making pizza, someone's said that's an art form. I've done it before,
No.
and I've actually been like really nice with it too.
Nice with the pizza. I've known people who really see like working at Subway making sandwiches for people, like they love that shit. They have a passion for it. They like making people sandwiches. Like it's an art. I would say that's an art.
That's a dying art.
Yeah, especially Chipotle. You know what I'm saying?
God.
Chipotle has gone so downhill in the past 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years ago, they were the shit. I'm not even lying.
Weren't you?
10 years ago, they were on top of the game.
Yeah.
But now I don't even want to go in there, bro.
Why?
I kind of want to try the service is terrible. The food is terrible. The portions are terrible. The pricing is terrible.
Drive-through.
You still have Chipotle all the time, don't you?
I do.
It's crazy.
And I order it through the app. Like, no one does that, and everyone complains about the fact that their
How much is your
portions
order?
are
How much
small or something.
How much does your order cost when you order it through the app and you pick it up, or what?
Fucking $26.
$26 for your little ass, bro.
Yeah. And,
Crazy.
But yeah, on the app, it like there's a setting. If you swipe to the left, it says extra.
When did you start making art, bro?
That shit.
When did you
Since
start
I was a
making
little
art?
kid, I always used to like draw dragons.
Like 5? Kindergarten?
Yeah.
You drew dragons in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Were they
I used to draw like
trash
cars,
or what?
dragons.
Were they
Yes, they were fucking trash. But they were like, you could at least tell what they were.
Okay. I cannot say the same. I can barely draw stick people to
See,
this
that's
day.
what I'm saying. Some people can't even draw stick figures, and like, what the fuck, dude? But
so you took time to perfect it, is what I'm guessing. How many hours you put into drawing?
Oh my god, I put in so many hours that
Why?
I don't even know, man.
Why
Probably
though?
hundreds and thousands of hours.
Probably.
I don't even know if I've lived that long, but yeah.
You've probably spent a significant percentage of your life on this earth drawing.
Yep.
Like probably like 10, 20% some shit.
Yeah, and I have like a whole
Probably
bunch of different
maybe
styles
even
that
more.
I
I'm just
mastered, too.
speculating.
Yeah.
Whole different styles. What's it called? Like pencils or markers or medium?
I only do pencils.
You only do
I've
pencil?
done like
You paint.
yeah, and I've done like pens and stuff, but I just like pencils
What's
because
your
it's like
what's
really
your style?
authentic.
What's your style called? Is it like shading or something?
I would just call it like sketching.
Sketching.
Yeah.
And what do you like to draw? Wait, okay, so you were drawing. What other type of shit would you draw when you were little?
I would draw like warriors and shit. I would draw like all kinds of fantasy stuff.
Mhm.
I would try to draw
Yep.
a lot of like animals. So
Yep.
back in the day, what?
Keep going. Keep going.
Okay. Back in the day, like people used to like ask me to draw like a dog for them in class or something like that. So I used to get better at drawing a dog or like a cat.
People would ask you to draw stuff for them, like
Yeah.
just to have.
No.
At what age?
Like for a good grade.
Oh,
Yeah.
art class type shit.
Yeah.
What? Damn, I forgot my question. What? What type of stuff you like to draw now?
Same. I mean, I've definitely graduated to
I remember
drawing
my question.
dragons and like monsters of my own creation.
Would you ever make a comic book? You ever thought about
I
doing
have
that?
made a comic book. I've made 2.
Oh, why haven't I seen that shit?
I don't know. They're probably like lost in like my mom's like.
You made them when you were a
boxes.
kid or what?
Yeah. Yeah.
How old were you?
I was in 5th grade.
Would you ever think about making one now?
Yeah. 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 And to make a
Bro, what about a Live from the Gutter comic book?
it takes a lot of imagination
That's
to
what I'm saying.
draw or
Time.
to make a comic book.
Of course.
I could probably do it because I really just wing it. Anytime I do anything, I wing it.
We would take time.
I mean, like the story is funnest
That's what I'm saying.
as you like.
Brainstorm.
Funnest, the
writer's
story
room.
is the funnest to go about it as you write it.
Yeah. Write it. But I'm just saying, like, you don't have to go spend all this time on the drawing until we like finalize a concept.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
I mean, as long as I guess like having a starting point, midpoint, and an end goal.
That's all you need.
That's all
You can
really
be as creative as you want. I just want to know have an
And
idea what's gonna come out.
You're an artist, as in like screenwriting. You know.
I want to make more stories.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
remember
goal.
in high school I used to make these videos of like action type shit, and they were actually really good.
They were hard as
They were
fuck.
pretty
We used
cool.
to do some shit.
That was like some Jason Bourne shit. It was pretty
we
cool.
used to do some shit.
Fight Club.
Where do you think that most artists can improve? How do you think that most artists can improve?
Staying true to themselves. I swear, I feel like I mean, it's good to take inspiration from another artist, but definitely stay true to your roots, you know, because that's like authenticity it's dying, you know, and people are starting to copy other artists, you know, and to formulate their own style out of someone else's style, and it's just kind of unauthentic.
I feel you.
And what is it?
Are there any big artists that you say you have a similar style to, or have a similar style to you?
Yeah. Actually, no. No, I don't know.
I couldn't think of anything. I mean, I'm not like an art head or anything, but
I really try to be different.
yeah.
I mean, the only artists that I guess I try to aspire to be, like, similar to is, I forgot his name. Fuck it. I think his name is Bansky.
Bansky.
I'm just gonna say Bansky.
Sorry.
The street artist.
Yeah, I know who Bansky is.
We can cut it out.
He's like the biggest artist right now.
Yeah, and he was for a very long time, but he likes to be like hidden.
Yeah, he likes to be in the shadows and
Yeah,
shit.
I like that.
I like that too. I think that's cool.
But that is not at all who I was thinking of.
What's like your favorite music artist that you listen to on a daily basis right now?
Some heavy metal.
Yeah, like
I love heavy metal.
shout them out.
It's therapeutical, you know.
Like who? What bands?
My cousin Robbie is a part of Molotov Solution. They're coming out with a new album, and I like them a lot actually. They're pretty cool. They follow along my line of heavy roots. And let's see, As Blood Runs Black, Black Dahlia Murder, Organectomy. There's a lot of bands out there. Extermination Dismemberment, I have to give them a shout out. They're fucking amazing. Peeling Flesh. They're also amazing. If you guys see this, I love you. Please send me some merch. I doubt it. But yeah, they're fucking amazing.
So where do you think that you specifically can improve as an artist? You think
myself?
Yeah, yourself.
Putting more time down, like on paper and shit, because lately I've only been drawing like once a year.
You haven't been drawing often. Why is that?
It comes in spells for me. Like I'll have, and I can't force myself.
Did
to
it
draw
come in
either.
spells more often before?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's because I had like much more of a vivid imagination back then. I had like so much more going on. I was outside more. I was with my friends.
You can't
more.
force yourself to practice.
I can definitely.
Should you?
And it probably would be like better for my mental health to.
That's what I was gonna say. You think it wouldn't be worse to force yourself?
No, because in order to do that, I have to like get.
You'd have to zone out.
Yeah,
you'd have to get
more
into
time
it.
in nature and stuff.
Fucking do it, bro.
Well, it's society lately, and like that's what keeps me inside. Majority of the time is
you don't wanna...
anytime I go outside, dude. There's fucking traffic buzzards. Like there's people that just like have no idea how to drive, and like they cause like you to get aggro during driving. I hate getting aggro, but like sometimes people really like need to get honked at. I hate honking at people.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are just really incompetent too.
Why does that bother you so much?
I don't. It's like the lack of common sense.
Yes.
It's the lack of common sense that people have, and it seems to be like an ever-growing issue, especially in California.
Why do you think people lack common sense?
It probably has to do with the way they were raised, and the fact that their parents might have not been there as much. I would like to say that a lot of the parents that we have that induced this type of lifestyle were young parents, like adolescent parents, you know?
You think a lack of parenting is what makes people dumb?
Yeah, and America has always been a country that has been really good at cutting corners, and I feel like we've only gotten better at that. So lately, like, we're only getting better at cutting corners towards taking responsibility for our own actions.
I feel you. What do you think we could do to change that, or do you think we can't? You think people are just going to get stupider and stupider? But
I don't know. That's a deep question, man. I don't, like, in order to get into that, we're going to have to get, like, really political.
It's your interview, not mine. You can talk about whatever you want.
I just think that people, it's literally everything that we have right now, but we're just amplifying it into a problem.
What do you mean by that?
The rights that people already have, you know? And I don't know.
What do you see? What are you excited for?
People just always want more, you know?
Yeah. Like, the way that people behave, it bothers you. Human nature?
Mm-hmm.
Or
It's
is it human
selfish.
nature, or is it choice?
Is it a choice? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I don't know. I definitely think it's human nature, because it being a choice is like, it's human nature to make the dumbest fucking choice imaginable. So.
I always think about, like, how people behave on Black Friday.
Oh, yeah, and how Thanksgiving is right before that. The day of being thankful, you know? And, like, literally an hour after eating and celebrating being thankful and shit for everything that you have, you're going out and stomping people out in line for a MacBook Pro.
There's the clip. That's the clip I was looking for. There's, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, I've seen that clip so many times. There's a new clip like that every time. I love how South Park did a parody of that.
Yeah.
They did. And it was accurate.
Wait, how old were you when you started watching South Park? My mom did not let me watch that.
Yeah, same here. I was probably like 14.
The show.
Yeah.
What's your favorite TV show?
South Park.
What do you like to do for fun? You got hobbies? I mean, we talked about drawing, but anything else?
Yeah, I like to build things.
Like what?
So right now I'm just kind of like refurbishing a deck at my grandma's house right now.
Oh, okay.
And it's like
Special
the deck
projects
that's
and
outside
shit.
of my room, so like it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's
I'm
cool.
trying to like make it all bitchin' bushy and shit.
Would you ever want to like do that as a job?
Yeah, I do a lot of side work jobs for like my family. They'll have me like do some roofing work or some handyman work, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because not only do you learn about a new trade, but you're definitely taking this knowledge to pass on to somebody else one day, you know, and it's really cool.
What was your first job?
My first job.
Was
my
it Del
first-
Taco?
That was like my first job by myself, yeah.
What was your first job?
My first job was working at ACRS Restoration Cleaning.
Your stepdad's company?
My stepdad's company.
How old were you when he started having you work for him?
Like 10.
You know, I think it's like if your kid's under 16, you can have them work for you and you can pay them like, I don't know what the number is. Here,
Child labor?
No, it's not child. Like, you can pay them up to a certain amount of like tens of thousands of dollars, and it's not tax.
Really? I never saw that.
Let me see. Up to $14,600 you can pay them, and they don't get taxed on that.
Cool.
It's a fun fact for those people that are, you know, trying to.
I missed out on that.
He didn't pay you, is what you're saying.
Not that much.
14,000 in a year? That's not that much.
But I didn't even.
How many? What would you do? What would you be doing for him?
So I'd be like grabbing like extremely hot hoses and shit that's like pumping hot water out to basically like a wand that shoots hot water out, that, and then there's another hose that sucks the dirty water up. And so we did carpet cleaning or like any type of cleaning like that, and we graduated to like cleaning windows and stuff. But I would mainly be like pulling the slack and making sure that he has enough slack for like going around corners and stuff like that, because he would get stuck a lot.
Did you see him? Did you watch him build that business?
Yeah.
When did he?
He started it when we moved back from Colorado.
When was that?
That was right after 9/11.
So you were in the first grade, second grade?
I was in first grade.
So in the beginning, it was all him, and then he moved on to having employees. Did that happen?
Yeah, it was like his buddies.
How many employees did he have?
Like 2.
He sold that business, no, for a good amount.
Yeah.
How long did it take him to build it and sell it? Probably like 15 years.
Yeah, probably about maybe like 13.
Did he have a good brand? You know, like where he got his customers from, just like
yeah. I mean, he
referrals?
was helping everybody out in like Upper Claremont and like actually around the area too, like in San Bernardino County. Sometimes he would even be in LA.
Do you know if he was ever like paying for ads or anything like that? Did he have a truck with a logo or like?
He did. He had a van with a logo, but like I thought it was like really unprofessional because we would have the van at our house. I'm like, oh, how big of a company is this? Like, shouldn't we have like a building or something like that that says ACRS over it? You know, like this is fucking weird. But whatever. Yeah, and I was like really embarrassed too. I'm like, all my friends are coming over and they're just gonna see this like carpet cleaning van out front, and he's like, we have a nice house, Skyler. We have a boat and shit. I'm just like, whatever. Like,
We have a boat.
You got it from cleaning carpets, dude.
You're an ass.
I know, I was such an ass.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you something. It's one of my goals to build some businesses like that. I don't care if I gotta get my hands a little dirty. At some point, I'm shifting over to some shit like that. Fucking power washing, fucking pool cleaning.
Power washing.
Window cleaning. I have a homie who I'm actually interviewing him on Saturday. He's in the music business, and he like kind of happened to just fall into the music business in college, going to UCLA, going to like being in the party scene and stuff. And he fell victim to the lifestyle and ended up like because he couldn't be in that environment anymore, he left the music business, right? And he started a window cleaning business, and now he eats. Okay, that's pretty cool. All right, shout out to you.
I'm usually alive.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm taking over the interview again, but
no,
I'm just letting you know that it's one of my personal business goals to build brick and mortar businesses like that. I need a few. This is one right here, kind of. I've done it kind of, but I don't have any like businesses that I built that are just straight up like a store or straight up like, you know what I mean, a physical service, and I want to do that. And I actually know the perfect market to start a pressure washing company in. It's in another part of the country, but I know the exact perfect market to do it, and there's plenty of work and plenty of money.
Dude,
there's probably a few markets that you could do it in, but I know of one for sure.
Out of here.
I would like to start selling some merch out of here, and then maybe I'll just be working here during the day. I'll get the internet hooked up, and people can stop by and shop some merch. But I would also like to get a lot of my own merch done. I get my own merch done, have some local brands have their stuff in here too, do some shit like that. You could run the store if you want. If you could hang out here with your dog.
That would be so fucking cool.
You could. I'd be down to let you do that.
Like some of my artwork, like prints on some oversized T-shirts.
You could do that too, but now we're talking getting into the manufacturing game, and I don't mind doing that right now either. But I don't have the money for the equipment. But I do want to get into the merch stuff because I think that
totally
there's opportunity there.
That'd be so sick.
That would be very sick. I can work on it. Shit's been a little tight lately.
Yeah.
It's a good idea though. I've always wanted to be into selling merch, but it's a lot of risk and it can take a lot of money up front if you really want to like do something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's your favorite food?
Spaghetti.
For real?
Yeah.
Just plain? No meatballs?
Hell yeah, meatballs.
You like it better with the meatballs or like with the ground beef in there?
Both.
I like the ground beef, bro. Like
my grandma makes it with both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to accomplish in life?
I just kind of want to be like a known artist, basically. I mean, other than being a really good dad and ending this generational trauma bullshit,
That's
like
important.
being a start of like a new generation.
Having kids, raising kids.
I'm the last Altman of my family. That's
so it matters to you.
Able to procreate. That's a man. So I feel like that's pretty cool too, but it's also kind of a lot of pressure on me. Like I feel like I really gotta have a kid.
Yeah, I mean,
otherwise, like
you gotta have a lot of kids.
I don't know. I don't want the name to die with me. If I have one kid, what if that kid dies?
Better get on it, brother.
Yeah. I'm gonna start popping kids out like they're nerds.
Do you have a message for the youth?
For the youth?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, stay young while you still can. Seriously, stop trying to grow up so fast.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you could go back and give yourself a piece of advice, let's say at 15 years old, what would it be?
Listen to my parents.
Real one.
Fuck.
What do you pour in the bowl first, cereal or milk?
Fucking milk, man. Are you kidding me? I'm just kidding. Cereal.
Yeah. I was about to whoop your ass on camera.
I'm like, I'm a psycho.
Damn, you hear that?
Yeah.
Fuck. What's the worst job you've ever had?
Working in Vail, Colorado.
Really? Tell me about that.
I mean, it was great and all. Like, that's where I was living as a kid before I moved back from 9/11. But so I moved back out there at age 18.
Wait, did you move because of 9/11, or you just happened to move at the time?
Yeah, we moved because of 9/11. We like wanted to be closer to family and shit. We thought that everyone we thought we were all gonna die.
It was wartime.
Yeah,
I mean it was.
We were getting freaked out, and but I moved back out of high school by myself, got an apartment, and I was working in like sub-degree weather. It was my first like job after Del Taco.
How old are you? Like 19?
18.
18?
Yeah, and I had to get up at like 4 a.m, get out there onto the mountain by like 6, and then I worked all the way till like 10 o'clock. So it was like a fucking long ass work day.
How many hours is that? Like 16 hours or something?
Huh?
Like 16 hours or something?
It was like 12-hour days or something like that. We might have started to work at like 8 actually, but I had to get up really early because I lived in another city. I lived in Avon, and I had to take a bus all the way out there.
How long did that take?
The bus, I had to get up early enough, make it for the bus, by like 5. The bus took like an hour to get to Vail. And then I would like walk to the locker room where like everyone was. We'd get like situated. We'd get like where we're going, like what lift we were working. And then we would get basically to the lift by like 7:30, and we would like be in there getting ready to work and shit.
So why was it so shitty? Because it was cold and the hours
It was
sucked?
so fucking cold, dude. It was so cold.
Why didn't you wear gloves?
I did. I wore like 9 gloves.
Is it that much colder than like
it was
out
like
here
negative.
or what?
It was sometimes
it is
negative
that much colder than out here.
25 degrees. Yeah.
Damn. And people were out there fucking having fun or what?
Having fun, having a blast, and I'd just be sitting there, dude. Like,
Because you're not
have
moving
fun.
around. Because you're not moving around. That's why you're so cold.
Yeah, I mean, the only benefit
you
that we
ever-
would have is we would get a free ski pass to every mountain that Vail owned, which is fucking
That's
global.
actually a fucking amazing perk, bro.
It's
What?
really awesome.
So you boarded over there?
Yeah.
Some good shit or what? Some powder?
Oh, God, yeah. I got fired, though.
Why'd you get fired?
So it was before pot was like officially legalized in Vail. It's
We're old
like
as
still
fuck.
federal land
We're
there.
so old.
I
We used to
know,
smoke
dude.
pot when it was illegal.
I know. We used to like buy it from fucking drug dealers. Do you guys know what that's like?
You used to have to be cool to get weed. I heard a comedian say that.
The cooler you were, the better weed that you got.
I got good weed.
We got the best. But I got in a collision on the mountain. So being on a collision on the mountain is like the same thing as drinking and driving. So you have to get like a breathalyzer, but out there it's like for weed.
A weed breathalyzer? Or was it a test? Like
it was like a really quick weed test or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Like they put it on your tongue.
Oh, like a swab. It's
Yeah.
probably a swab.
Yeah, and I smoked like on my lunch break or
Yeah.
something. But so I was on my way down the mountain. I got in a collision with like the last kid that was on there.
Mhm.
He was like on the way down too.
It was like the end of the day.
It was the end of the day. I shut my lift down. I was like, I thought I was the last person down because that's like one of the benefits that we have is if we have the ability to ski down the mountain if
Yeah.
we're working up at top.
Right.
So I did that, and this kid came out of nowhere on skis. I clipped him. He was fine, but we had to, like,
Damn. So if you get in a collision on the mountain, you're banned, like in general,
You're-
or just
you're not banned.
because you work there.
just because I worked there and because I had pot in my system,
Right.
it's like considered like drinking and driving.
Okay, but
or
what
something.
if you didn't work there and that happened? Do they still test you?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, like patrol probably wouldn't even come.
Yeah.
But like it's
But
like an
since you work
insurance
there,
type of thing.
oh, because they can sue them.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can sue them whether you get fired or not. To be honest.
Mhm. And like patrol was
But
right
they're like,
there.
we can't take that risk
Patrol was
again.
right there, so like they weren't just gonna like.
Is
dip
that
out.
why that's the shittiest job you had? Because you got fired, or because of the cold? Which one was worse?
I want to say because of the cold.
Sorry. Sorry, I don't mean to crack up, bro. I'm a little.
Oh, and because my roommates were fucking stealing my shit.
They gave you dorm too, or you were just living with some people? No, because you had to take the bus and shit. You were
Yeah,
just
no, I was basically living in a dorm, so like I was sharing an
Well,
apartment.
how'd you get that?
It was housing that was owned by Vail, and
Really?
like a whole bunch of employees were like.
Oh, so it's the city of Vail that runs the lifts and everything.
Yeah.
Got it. That makes sense. I never really thought about that.
Yeah, and they own.
Is that
like,
how
a
it is
big
most
apartment
places?
building.
There's probably
For
places that are
resorts, yeah.
city owned and then like privately owned. I would assume.
Yeah, like so.
Because if you buy that land, then it's yours, right? But you could. I'm sure there's so much insurance. I wonder how much ski resorts have to pay in insurance. That probably
I can't
a
even
bill.
fucking imagine.
But that's just not cheap though. Like they make
Billions.
bread, and then they also like if you own the actual hotels and shit. I'm sure that it's money. It's money out there,
Yeah.
and the only way you can get in is if you got hella bread, and you're down to wait a while for a return, or your family just owned that shit since 100 years ago when it was affordable.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're like investing so your grandkids have cash, not your own kids.
Okay, this is a big question. I literally ask everybody this, but feel free to speak on whatever you want to speak on. Have you ever been depressed?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that? How'd you get through that?
I don't know. So like, I feel like I've been depressed for such a long time where like I don't even realize that I'm still depressed.
Yeah.
But like the more time I spend in my room just like alone and kind of like avoiding everything, like that's kind of like a wake up call, like, oh yeah, maybe I am a little depressed. You know, I don't really feel good. And I kind of feel like a little worthless. But that's just your mind talking to you, telling you things, and that's also you listening to it.
You can choose to listen, or you can choose to change the direction.
And it's a literal thing. Like you literally have to get up and like go out for like a little walk around the block, and like that'll solve it. Like you literally need to get up and get a glass of water and like
do something. Talk
to someone for like a couple seconds, you know, like it's that
get
easy.
yourself out of that mind frame is what you're saying.
Yeah, but it could be really hard. It could seem almost impossible in that very moment, but the first step is always the hardest, and that's something that I've learned in rehab.
What else have you learned in rehab that's helped you? And what was that rehab experience like?
It's so like my rehab experience was pretty mind awakening. I don't know, it just I noticed how much like other people suffer and what road can be definitive for you, because if you do drugs or if you're like addicted to something, like addiction is a disease, and that's something that I've learned, and
it can kill you.
Yeah, and it's not always your fault, and but it is up to you to
figure it out,
to try to figure it out and put a stop to it, and that's the first step. And the first step is always the hardest, but
taking
after
responsibility,
that,
you think?
Yeah, it's taking responsibility,
accountability.
And after that, it's a piece of cake. Like, I mean, taking responsibility, because
you're right.
Taking
that's
responsibility is a part of like every other step that you have to take in the 12-step program.
But you still gotta wake up every day and choose not to do it. That's pretty hard.
Yeah, but like my real dad, he's been addicted to like heroin almost all his life.
Yeah.
And now he gets high on life by like skating and surfing and like doing all this adrenaline junkie type shit.
Would your dad be down to do an interview? And I'd be down to even get some B-roll of him skating and shit. That'd be cool.
Yeah, but he
has
lives
trauma.
in
He wouldn't wanna-
Yosemite.
There's probably
like,
things
me and him don't talk.
Oh, I forgot you guys. I'm sorry.
No, that's cool.
I don't mean to.
I mean,
and there's probably he probably like wouldn't want to talk about some things too, I would assume.
Definitely.
Yeah.
He has like really bad PTSD.
Yeah.
Like really bad.
You haven't been diagnosed with PTSD?
It's kind of like a given when you have borderline personality disorder.
Can you
it's
tell
kind
me-
of like a small part of it.
Can you define borderline personality disorder for people who don't know?
For people who don't have it?
For people who don't know what it is.
It's kind of just like the epitome of like the worst depression can get, basically. It's like you have this, it really feels like you have this void inside of you where it's like your heart is shattered, you know, and it's just like scattered in the blackness, and you're really trying to figure it out. You're trying to figure yourself out, but you can't, no matter how hard you try. You can't love yourself. You can't be happy. I hate myself all the time for some reason, and I don't even know why, and I don't even want to hate myself. It actually it breaks my heart, because I feel like I really try to do a lot of things to be a good person, but I blame myself for everything. And
Why?
I don't know. It's like
a compulsive thought.
It is kind of pretty compulsive, but I just like feel like there's like a big black hole inside of me, and no matter what I put inside of it, it's just like going somewhere else.
You love yourself?
I don't think so.
You think you can?
I don't know. And like a part of borderline personality disorder too is like I'm like really trying to seek like love and attention from like other people that I shouldn't be asking it from, but like I have this like want, this need to like have that toxicity. It's so weird.
It makes sense though.
To me it doesn't. Like,
well, if
a lot of borderline personality disorder like doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like I just like feel very empty all the time, and I just feel like that's being really depressed.
Yeah. Extreme, never ending, right?
Yeah, it's just like a never-ending depression and anxiety and stress, and all of it's like pointed at myself, you know, and I'll hurt myself, and like I won't know why like I did it. It's like I'm blacking out, and it's like that trauma and that pain is like taking over, and it's like we hate me. Like, we hate you, Skyler.
What?
And then, like, I stop and I'm just like, why the fuck am I doing this? And I hate myself even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have, like, tools or activities that you use to get through those times?
So that's where my intermittent explosive comes into play, is, like, I really black out when I'm under a lot of stress, and I try to have like coping mechanisms and stuff like that, like breathing techniques, or like doing things with your hands, or like feeling yourself or something. I don't even know. There's like so many different coping mechanisms that are out there that are so easy to do, but my mind just goes blank when I'm like frustrated, and the only thing that I can really think of doing is like slamming my head against the wall to like just stop it, and it's so weird.
Have you been like that since a child?
Yeah.
I could remember sometimes doing things like that when I was younger, but I feel like as I got older, it just became less and less. And not that I don't still have like mental breaks, like especially because I push myself as far as like working a lot, and I forget to take care of myself. But do you think that that's something that you can grow to eliminate, or do you think maybe you can only moderate it?
That's like, it's something that I've learned to moderate it, but I'm like trying to eliminate right now. Because like it's still like there's still a attention-seeking part of it.
Well, you still see doctors about this, right? Your therapist, maybe a psychiatrist. Do they talk to you about like recovering? You know what I mean?
Yeah. They want me to take like DBT classes and stuff like that, but every time I'm there, it's
what's
like
DBT classes?
It's like cognitive therapy, but like group sessions and shit sometimes, usually. And I just don't like going to them because I don't like being surrounded by like all these other people that are just like woe is me and shit.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know. I feel like a lot everybody goes around life thinking that they're the main character of everyone else's life. And that's like one of my biggest pet peeves. And I feel like I feel like I'm personally growing out of borderline personality disorder.
Yeah.
And people usually do at this stage in their life. That or they end up like killing themselves or something. But I feel like I've done a lot of work to the point where I'm actually like growing out of it.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm not like narcissistic anymore at all. I feel like I might have been like a little bit. I feel like everybody has narcissistic tendencies, but I'm at the point right now where I'm taking full responsibility of my actions, and I'm looking around me and I'm just like I'm noticing the faults and the measures that everybody else is taking that I also took, and I'm just like noticing the difference that I am now between them.
You're making more mature decisions in your life.
I am, and I'm noticing how these people aren't, and so I just feel like I'm on a more graduative level compared to them.
Well, you're able to look and identify, like, I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
We're too grown to be behaving like that.
Yeah.
And so you separate yourself or limit your time if it's, a family member.
It's like a part of being mature,
I think that who you surround yourself with is really important. Like, when I was thinking about this recently because I recently interviewed a Christian rapper. Her name is Kiaja. The video's going to drop in a couple of days, and she's so cold. She can rap so good. She has a God-given gift for music. And I lost my train of thought again. Why do you think I always lose my train of thought? I'm thinking too hard, huh?
No, I think it might be because you have it on the tip of your tongue.
Because I'm tired.
No, I think it's because, like, you have this thought on the tip of your tongue.
And then I lead up to it.
And when I'm talking, this thought starts steamrolling into, like, a conversation that you're having with yourself. And you're like, all right, this is good. And then once it's your turn to talk, you're like, you got a whole conversation lined up. And then you're like, shit. Like, all I know is the subject.
Yeah, you might be right. Keep going. It's gonna come back to me.
My coffee. But yeah.
Talking about like, there's hope basically for
you gotta
recovery.
have high hopes.
You have to always hold on to it, right?
Yeah.
No matter what.
If you don't have hope, you don't. Really
How do you know
anything.
that? Where did you learn that from?
What, having high hopes?
To keep holding on to hope.
I don't know. I think that's something that I've always had because growing up, I've always wanted my real dad. Like, I always thought that, like, my real dad was going to show back up for some reason. Mm-hmm. And, like, him and my mom were going to be back together. Mm. So, like, I always had high hopes for that. And ever since then, I've just, like, had, like, really high hopes for, like, things to happen to me. Like, good things, basically. And, like, high hopes for, like, bad things to not happen to me. And I feel like I've been pretty protected since then, and I feel like it's all just having high hopes, and, like, having high hopes can't hurt.
Do you believe in karma?
Yes. I don't believe in bad luck or, like, good luck or anything because I feel like, it's just kind of like law of attraction. If you believe in bad luck, you're only going to notice the bad things that are going to happen to you. So bad luck is only going to be more apparent. Same thing with, like, good luck. So, but with, like, karma, what you put out into the universe most definitely comes back. So, and the universe is like an ever-growing living thing, it's crazy. It's almost as if it's like a universal force of love is what we live in.
You believe in God?
Yeah, I believe in I used to believe in him as, like, a higher power and stuff, but lately I've just been, like, really pissed off at him because I'm like, why would you create me, and if you're all-knowing and stuff like that, like, why would you give me borderline personality disorder? Because, like, I'm, like, I have all these tattoos on me and shit like that, but I only put them on me because I want to cover up, like, scars and shit. Yeah. And these tattoos are honestly fucking shitty as hell. Like, people like them, but I don't like them. And I feel like I'm ruining my body over it. And it's almost completely out of my control because, like, the only thing I can do to solve this borderline personality problem is to take a shit ton of medications while going to therapy and, like, going through this minefield of, like, trauma and, like, opening up all these boxes. And it's, like, it's really fucking stressful.
Does everything need to be opened up, or do you think some stuff?
Yeah, it definitely needs. It all needs to be opened up, and it all needs to be dealt with. And yeah, it's stressful. I'm doing the work that my mom, my dad, their parents didn't do, and yeah, I'm doing it all for my future kids if I ever have them. I'm also doing it because it feels good, it feels good to at least be this type of person and have this type of pedestal in my family, because I feel like I have a throne in a way, you know, like
for your initiative to take care of yourself.
Yeah, and like I have the power, and I'm like doing a good thing with it, you know.
What's the most important thing you've learned in life?
I know it kind of sounds weird, but I think the best thing that I've learned is the fact that I don't actually love myself, because now I can actually go through the journey towards truly loving myself.
So you think you were lying to yourself
Absolutely.
about that before?
And I feel like most of the time you're telling someone that you're lying to them in a beginning of a relationship, you're lying to yourself as well as them. Like, you don't know what love is at that point in the relationship.
You don't know
might
if it's
feel
gonna
good
work.
and shit like that, but like look at Courtney and Travis. Like, he's already starting to die down with all the attention and shit like that. She's like, "Oh, kiss me, you know, like I want another kiss before we go out." And he's like, "Oh, I already gave you a kiss." 5 months ago, they used to be fucking making out in front of Kris Kardashian. But you know, everything dies down a little bit. They used to be like all lovey-dovey and stuff, but they definitely put all their eggs in one basket.
There's ups and downs.
Can't be doing that. You need to be taking your time to like be measuring the faults.
I mean, it's viral. You got to think about that too.
Huh?
It's viral. You have to think about that too. They're posting for attention.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, but they're also keeping their new son out of the limelight. Like,
Their
how can
new
you do
son.
that, but
They had
keep
a
all
kid?
your children in the limelight, but your newest one out? That must be weird for him to grow up, and all your siblings to grow up with too.
That's Travis's kid? Maybe he...
No, yeah, it's Travis and
Maybe he
Courtney's
just
new kid.
doesn't want them in front of the media.
I get that, but it's also kind of weird. I mean, like, you guys are Kardashians. Like, your whole families are out there. Like, just, like, you're making it so weird. Like, what does he have, like, a deformity or something?
I was unaware of this situation, but...
Anyway.
You know.
Yeah, I watch the Kardashians. I also watch
You're,
Jersey
like, up to
Shore.
date?
Yeah.
I fuck with the old school, keeping up with the Kardashians.
It's just funny to see how dramatic they are about everything, and how, to look at what they think they know.
Mm.
And to be, like, talking about all this shit like they just figured it out yesterday.
Do you think that saving money is important?
No.
You care to elaborate?
We're all going to die.
Yeah.
You know? And...
But I mean,
with-
if you have
with
kids, don't you want to leave like some type of security
Definitely.
for their future? Because if you think about...
No one's going to have a kid with me, though, dude.
You don't know that. But if you think about the trajectory, like inflation, just for example, the percentage that inflation has gone up in the past 30 to 50 years is absolutely horrendous.
It is.
And let's say that your kid is, 30, 40 years from now, they're our age, and there's no feasible way for them to get out of their situation because of the condition of the market.
Think
And
about
right
it this
now,
way.
we do have some, maybe less opportunity, maybe more opportunity, whatever you say, but you just don't know what the future holds.
You
know what I'm
don't. But let's think about it this way. Let's say I made $2 million to pass on to my grandkids or my kids
Okay.
in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Inflation goes up some more, so now it's only $1 million. Why the hell did I work so hard to earn $2 million for them when they're only going to get half of it? Especially their grandkids who are only going to get a quarter of it.
That's one way of looking at it, but you could also look at it as you can design it to leave $1 million for them to live off of, and you can actually choose like when they get the money. Like you can set it up like that, and you can leave another $1 million in the market that will continue to accrue money. You can take a percentage out and keep that money in the market, assuming that the United States doesn't get overrun. The market's going to continue to exist.
Or if the nukes don't go off.
Yeah, but you never know. That's why you have a bunker also.
Yeah, and then what use would money be then? It's going to be fallout, dude.
Well, you got that's why you have the bunker.
We're going to be trading bottle caps for cash.
That's why you have the bunker. The money is for if the world doesn't end, which is also very likely.
But the world isn't going to end?
In your kid's lifetime or a couple of generations, who you never know. I don't know. And honestly,
I just think it's kind of funny because biblically,
I think biblically the world's going to end right now. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Somebody saw my Jesus tattoo. It was at Cafe Rio, and she was like, "Oh, that's a lovely tattoo." She was like, the end is near, right?" And I was like, I mean, I would say so.
You probably voted for Trump too.
I was like, I mean, all roads point to yes, to be honest, if you do look at what the Bible says was going to be going on, peace in the Middle East, and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. I'm not educated on those things, so I'm not trying to talk about the Middle East.
It's really ironic.
I know nothing about it.
It's really ironic.
But as a believer, I think most believers are feeling that the end is coming due to the things that are going on in the world.
Oh yeah, you know how people are like getting their identities in their wrists and their foreheads and shit like that?
Yeah, that shit's happening.
Yeah, sure. And so in Revelations they talk about that.
Yeah,
how
the mark of the beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hello.
They talk about a great leader who is going to bring all nations together, and that's the Antichrist.
Mm-hmm. Trump.
But, I mean, there's also like, is that really the original rendition of the Bible, or is that like a bunch of also warmongering men that controlled the
Either
Bible
way,
being translated?
That was written hundreds of years ago.
Thousands.
So, I mean, either way, that was low-key prophesized.
Yeah, but it's also been translated. Like, I would like to actually read the original Hebrew and shit to see, like, what that shit really means. I don't know fucking Hebrew, but I think that would be
the
interesting.
Torah?
Yeah, or to have, like, some people... I mean, that's a section of the Bible. There's lots of books that were left out of the Bible. Do you know that? There's actually, like...
Yeah.
And
isn't it like that?
What I've heard... There's different names for it, and there's different religions that use the books. But what I've heard from TikTok, basically, is that a lot of those books were left out because of the lead female roles in them. Yeah. Anyways, I'm not super educated on that subject, but I would be really cool. It would be really cool to have like a theologian. I don't know, a biblical historian. It would be really cool to talk to a biblical historian. I used to really love that stuff when I was a kid. I would watch these like videos of this biblical historian. He'd talk about like the dinosaurs and how the Bible can confirm different historical facts like that and shit.
Yeah, I actually used to go to church with people like that.
I thought that shit was dope.
It was like really culty.
Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills. That's where they started showing me that shit as a kid, and I was like, "This is fucking interesting." I like that because I love history, and it was really cool how they're able to like use history to prove some things in the Bible.
Churches freak me out now.
It's all sorts of different experiences, different type of churches. There's churches that don't use instruments. There's churches that whatever. I think church is important.
Really trying to get with today's day and age.
I need to get back in the church. For sure.
And shit.
Because I think having that's actually what I was getting to earlier. See, it came back to me, came full circle. I was thinking about becoming, when you become a believer in Christ, if you really want to live a holy life and like follow God and be like God on a daily basis, hourly basis. You have to surround yourself with people who are also on that same mission. I don't think that there's any. You would have to be there's probably you can't do it. I don't think it's possible. It's either you and God, or it's you and people and God. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, it's not gonna work. You can't do it by yourself.
It's basically like having a lower power and.
It's energy of people around you.
Having a lower power and having a higher power. No matter what, you got to have one.
It just says it in the name.
You.
Power. It's energy. It's power. People talk about the law of attraction and you know what that is? The law of attraction. It's like,
yeah.
I believe that the law of attraction is prayer. Like if you practice the law of attraction,
it's like karma.
You're practicing prayer.
Yeah, I feel like law of attraction and karma are like the same thing.
Interesting. That's a good take.
I feel like they are the same thing.
You believe in reincarnation? You think life repeats itself?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know about that because. There's a lot of movies that go into reincarnation and they make it make sense, Mm-hmm. But I just don't know.
Movies. That's exactly the information we should go off.
I think that the biggest afterlife scenario that I believe in is the simulation scenario. So when you die, you wake up in a simulation.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, basically
I
like the
think
Matrix.
Like that. I remember I asked my dad when I was a kid. He was like, must have been really young. He's like, "Ron, was there anything you want to ask me?" And I was like, "What if we don't even exist? What if we're actually in a big giant's dream, and then when we go to sleep, the giant's in our dream?"
Dude, have you seen Men in Black? How at the end of Men in Black, they're like rolling marbles, and then the universe it pans out, and it's like a marble, and each marble has like a shit ton of different like universes inside of it, and then there's like aliens playing with the marbles,
like Horton Hears a Who.
Yeah.
All right.
And the Grinch Stole Christmas.
we're running. Oh, the Grinch has that intro too, huh?
Mm-hmm. And snowflake.
It's a snowflake in like a snow globe.
Yeah,
Shit's hard as fuck. That shit's hard as fuck. I can't even lie. Okay, shout out to the Grinch. Shout out to Christmas.
Dr. Seuss, dude.
Dr. Seuss was not a good guy.
No, but who is? I mean, I'm not saying that we're all like them,
Saints,
but like, yeah.
But that fool was not cool.
Everyone's coming out with crazy shit, man. Diddy? Oh my god.
We're running out of battery, but do you want to talk about that?
Did he?
Yeah, if you want to.
Did you see the bucket of dildos that they found at his house?
No.
Oh my god, it could fill this room.
That's insane.
Yeah.
10,000 bottles of baby oil.
Dude, there was at
10,000 bottles of baby oil.
that much dildos too.
Okay.
There was at least a dildo for baby
all right.
oil.
Is there anything else you want to leave the people with?
We can leave on that.
All right. That's a wrap. Shout out to Skyler for coming through, man.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming through and talking about you and your story. I hope someone can relate to it. I hope maybe it could help somebody. And shout out to my bro. I love you, bro. I wish you the best. I want to pray more often, and you're some of that I want to pray for all the time because I love you, bro. You're my dog.
I love you too, man. We're going on 15 years.
And we've known each other for a long time, and we're getting old. You're turning 30 on Saturday.
Stop saying it.
And we're gonna kick it tomorrow. We're gonna have a good time.
Jake Paul fight.
Yeah.
He's gonna get knocked out.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's a wrap.